Alright. So we got a pirate named Mancomb, which we can talk to, so let's do that.
Ahoy there, stranger. New in town?
What is this place exactly?
That's the stupidest question I've ever heard.
Humor me.
Why, this is the world-famous Melee Island, of course. Home to some of the filthiest rogues and rascals you'll ever cross paths with. Though if I were you, I'd not stray too far beyond the village. The weather's taken an awful turn tonight. A stranger could get lost in that pea soup.
What's in the village?
Oh, plenty of places to spend your pieces of 8. Though I'd wager most will be closed at this hour. Except maybe the general store. That old skinflint never sleeps. Then there's the old jail, the church. But if you ask me, there's nowhere better than this very pub. Why not sit for a spell and soak it all in?
Yeah, pretty much all the areas that he mentioned are on the map of the book, so... Are you a pirate? Do you have a crew?
Well, I am a pirate, but alas, I am not a captain. Truth be told, I haven't been out on the waves for many a month. It all began when that LeChuck business forced us back to shore.
Who's LeChuck?
Once he was the terror of the Caribbean, roaming the seas on his fearsome ghost ship until he was scuppered by the legend of Monkey Island.
What's the legend of Monkey Island?
Oh, not what. Who? I'm talking about the most fearless felon to ever don a captain's hat and sail straight into the waiting maw of death itself. Guybrush Threepwood. Once we heard what had happened to LeChuck, most of us pirates chose to retire. There's no point trying to compete with the legend of Monkey Island.
That's funny. It's funny how they basically, like, idolize him when he's, like, one of the worst pirates out there. Because he's so foolish and he makes mistakes and clumsy. But, yeah. Who's in charge here?
Our governor is none other than the legend of Monkey Island himself. He keeps this whole area prosperous for his fellow pirates. His mansion is on the other side of town, but pirates aren't as welcome around there as they used to be.
Why is that?
Because the governor's a busy man, that's why. Caught up writing his memoirs. It's the most pre-ordered book ever published on Melee Island.
Yo.
Come to think of it, it's also the first book ever published on Melee Island. But that just makes it even more exciting. I'm buying 9 copies. You should talk to the important-looking pirates in the next room. If you're to stand any chance of seeing the governor, they can tell you where to go and what to do.
Alright, last one. So what was your name anyway?
My name is Mancomb Seepgood.
Ever been to the Sea of Thieves, Mancomb?
What of who? Never heard of it. Now I've sailed as far as Dinky Island, but Melee Island is the place to be nowadays, thanks to the governor.
It's funny how everything's trademarked.
Now that you're here, you should relax and take a load off. Uh-oh, looks like my grog is going flat, so you'll have to excuse me.
Grog isn't supposed to be fizzy.
Maybe not on this Sea of Thieves you're so proud of. But in these parts, we prefer a beverage with a little extra kick to it. Kerosene, red dye number 2.
Bro, kerosene and grog?
If you're brave enough to try some for yourself, we usually sneak ours out of the big barrel in the kitchen. You can join us in a toast to the legend of Monkey Island.
Alright, so there's your first hint of what you kind of have to do. So in order to steal these pieces of 8, you have to, like, kind of do something with the grog.
Hey, keep your greedy hands to yourself.
Thirsty Pirate says, nah, bruh. This guy's just hanging out in the back, looking all creepy and stuff, you know. Alright, what
Where's
you got for
that
me?
blasted cook? Me crew and I are parched drier than Boulder Beach.
I'm hungry, man. Alright, hang on, let me check something out real quick. Just increase that a little bit. Okay, we got Cobb. She can't talk to her. Talk to this guy.
Leave me be! I'm too thirsty for small talk.
Okay. Can't steal
Try
from him,
that
right?
again, and you'll be joining the devil for supper.
Can't talk to him, so we gotta talk to Cobb. Other than that,
Come to share a table with me? How about sharing some grog, eh? Hands off! That key's for official town business only.
alright, so he has a clock tower key that you can steal. Alright, so let's just talk to Cobb next. What? No.
Aye?
Ah, yourself.
Aye.
Nice hat.
Aye!
Hey! You've met the Legend of Monkey Island?
Aye!
Aye. So, tell me about Loom.
You mean the latest masterpiece of fantasy storytelling from Lucasfilm's Brian Moriarty?
Yo.
Why, it's an extraordinary adventure with an interface of magic, stunning high-resolution 3D landscapes, sophisticated score, and musical effects.
Aye.
Not to mention the detailed animation and special effects, elegant point-and-click control of characters, objects, and magic spells. Beat the rush. Go out and buy Loom today.
He's an advertisement, bro. I don't understand anything you just
Sorry, but on some topics I just get carried away.
said. Someone's paying you, aren't they?
Aye.
Aye. Alright, cool. So that's pretty much everyone you can talk to in this area, in this room. So let's go ahead and talk to these guys.
Is that fresh meat I spy? Tremble, mortal, before the mighty skulls of scum.
It's been longer than a rat's tail since I last set me sockets on a would-be pirate, though I could swear we've crossed paths before. But never mind all that. You'll be here to undertake the 3 trials, I'll wager.
The 3 trials!
Aye, that takes me back. I want to be a mighty pirate. Where do I collect me hat?
Well, if you're here to prove your worth to us, too bad. We're no longer in charge around here. Aye, and what would be the point? There's not a pirate wannabe alive who could hold a candle to the legend of Monkey Island.
No, please, not the speech again.
The mightiest pirate ever weigh anchor!
Scourge of the Caribbean, terror of the Tri-Island territories, master of 1,000 insults.
A man who could hold his breath for 60 minutes.
Governor
Guybrush
Threepwood!
Ah, all that toasting of the governors made me thirsty.
Time for some more grog! 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 Grog!
Yo. So a little fun fact about Monkey Island games is that there's actually never really any combat. It was more just a almost like an insult contest where you would talk to somebody, and if like you were fighting them, but you know it was based on the insults that you said, and if you got them right, you would basically win the fight. So it's kind of cool. It's almost like a tug of war.
Pirate leaders have pretty much staked a claim to this room. I can't think of anyone who'd want to argue with them. From here, they dispense wisdom to wannabe pirates.
Okay, so that's number 3 out of 10. Let's take a seat at the Scumm Bar, which I think is another commendation that you can get. Okay, so we can talk to each of them. We can talk to the skulls, and then we can talk to the dog. So let's talk to Spiffy. Something might make this dog give up his bone. Alright, who's a good boy then?
Spiffy,
Spiffy. Aren't you a little short for a pirate?
Probation.
Can you do any tricks?
Card. 3 hearts.
And then may I have that bone?
Monkey.
Rough monkey. Alright, that's it for that. Let's talk to the pirate leaders next. Starting with this guy on the left.
What be ye wanting?
Is everyone here a pirate?
Now that's the sort of question I'd expect from a pirate wannabe. Melee Island is pretty much wall-to-wall rogues and scoundrels. Granted, more than a few folks have retired from a life on the high seas and taken up other lines of work where they can. But pretty much everyone you'll rub shoulders with has flown the Jolly Roger at one time or another, and none of us are ashamed to admit it.
Doesn't that cause you trouble?
Why should it? Governor Threepwood is in charge now, and there's no pirate more lawless, lethal, and larcenous than he. The days of being clapped in irons by the local sheriff are long gone, and it's all thanks to the legend of Monkey Island.
There's no trademark? There's no trademark there? About the legend of Monkey Island.
What's the matter? You got seawater in your ears? Let me spell it out for you. Governor Threepwood is our legend of Monkey Island. He's been everywhere, seen it all, and stolen most of it. Adventures the rest of us can only dream of. The only way you'd be considered a true pirate is if the governor himself declared you to be worthy of following in his footsteps.
Sounds simple enough.
Oh, you think so? You can't just stroll up to the governor's door and challenge him to a spitting contest, you know. But there is one way. A man in town can be your ticket to an audience with the governor, but his help surely won't come cheap.
Where is Monkey Island anyway?
They say it lies east of here, but its exact location is a great mystery to all but the chosen few, including the governor and his wife, Elaine Marley. The whole of Monkey Island is surrounded by a strange mist that makes sailing there a treacherous prospect, unless you know exactly what you're doing.
Sounds familiar.
Oh, really? Well, most folks tended to avoid the place once the ghost pirate LeChuck began to use Monkey Island as his pirate lair.
Except for the legendary Guybrush Threepwood, huh?
Only the governor was brave enough to bring together a crew and make it all the way to Monkey Island to rescue his beloved bride.
Of course, but of course.
It's just one more reason he's held in such high regard. But I don't suppose even he knows every secret the island has to offer.
Okay, and then I'm looking to earn some
I
coin.
assume you mean pieces of 8? That's the currency we trade in here on Melee Island, not gold or other such nonsense. The cook could have been persuaded to take you on, but he's already hired himself a new assistant, so you're out of luck there. Well, I'm sure if you keep your eyes peeled, you'll spot a few stray pieces of 8 lying around that nobody'll miss. Of course, a real pirate would notice more nefarious opportunities to fill their pockets.
Of course, of course. Alright. Talk to this dude in the middle.
Back again? You're persistent, I'll give you that.
Where's the governor's mansion?
Decided to chance your luck with the governor's guards, eh? Well, you can't miss the place. Head up through town and through the archway below the clock tower to find a cliffside path that'll take you straight to the governor's doorstep.
Seems easy enough to find.
You might think so, but the fact of the matter is that the guards will turn you away unless you've got an official invitation. Now, I don't know where you'd go about acquiring such a thing, but there's one particular citizen whose specialty is finding what you need.
Okay, where are where are all of the trading companies?
You mean purveyors of tea, silks, that sort of thing? We don't allow them to operate here on Melee. The pirates gotta eat, though, so we do take in shipments of goods from other islands. One of them sank at the docks just the other day, in fact.
Another hint. And then they're sold in stores?
Ha! What do I look like, a merchant? All I know is the governor keeps this place running just fine. We're never wanted for supplies. If you're peckish and low on funds, you could always find a fishing rod. See if you can't catch some supper that way.
And another hint. Alright, how did you get to be in charge?
Each of us underwent the 3 trials way back when, and became mighty pirates, when it was still possible for mere mortals to succeed.
Yo.
But since you ask, I'll let you in on a little secret. The trick of being in charge is to make yourself look important.
Dress like a pirate?
That's why we took the best table in the house for ourselves, and lined ourselves up here, all official-like.
That's it?
Well, there's no need to be like that about it. There's plenty of other pirates who wish they'd thought of it first.
Yo. There's a talking skull behind you.
Ah, pay him no heed, or he'll talk your ear off all night. Claims to hail from somewhere called Sailor's Grave, wherever that may be.
Doesn't bother you?
Only when he starts up with a shanty. I never heard such a tuneless, talentless assault against the performing arts.
Yo.
He claims it's the best he can do on account of lacking a full set of vocal cords. But if you ask me, he's just doing it for the attention.
Okay. Alright, last one. What's up, bro?
Back so soon? You've plenty of questions, I'll be bound.
Alright, how'd this place get its name?
They say the name Scumm comes from a language invented by one of the first and most influential pirates who dreamed of us all sharing a common speech. Some called him a genius, others a maniac. His knowledge and wisdom was passed down at a prestigious institute known as Scum University.
Yo.
Who can say, if it hadn't been for the drive and vision of those pirate pioneers, we might not be standing here today making such polite conversation.
What were the 3 trials?
Tests by which a pirate might prove themselves worthy of the title. There were 3 to be faced, spread across Melee Island. Trouble was, once word began to spread about the legend of Monkey Island and all that he'd accomplished, the trials looked pretty feeble by comparison.
So you made them harder?
That we did. But no matter how dangerous, deceitful, and despicable the trials became, not one of them held a candle to the governor's heroic deeds. Eventually, nobody could manage to complete the trials, and the whole system was abandoned. Better to seek the governor's blessing.
Yo. Okay. Guess it's our only shot. Alright, tell me more about the governor.
He may not look it, but Governor Threepwood has the strength and stamina of 10 men. He's the champion of both our caber tossing and spitting contest. And when it comes to his skill with a blade, his insults have flummoxed the sword master herself.
There you go. You fight using insults?
Aye, that's a trick you'll get to learn if and when the governor judges you to be a worthy pirate. A devastating witticism delivered at just the right moment can throw your opponent off balance. We pirates have our pride to consider after all.
Okay, and then what about the old governor?
Elaine Marley was her name, back before she became Mrs. Elaine Marley Threepwood. Few could win her heart back then, though many pirates tried. She was a fine leader, and just as fine a match for the legend of Monkey Island. Though there's one pirate who thought otherwise, and LeChuck was his name.
He was in love with her?
That's putting it mildly. When Elaine invited him for dinner, LeChuck was instantly smitten and vowed to do whatever it took to marry her. Needless to say, the legend of Monkey Island wasn't about to stand for that. It ignited a bitter feud between the two of them. Ah, but that was a long time past now. Makes me all misty-eyed just to think about it.
So really the only one that said anything useful was this guy and then this guy. This guy kind of just gave you some backstory. Alright, so in here is the cook. We could talk to him.
I've got my eye on you.
There's a couple things you could do in the kitchen, but not anything you can do right off the bat. You kind of have to do a couple things first. This is where you would get the grog to get the other pirates drunk so you can steal the pieces of 8, so we'll do that in a little bit. But for right now, let me talk to the cook. The Scumm Bar chef.
Hey, you shouldn't be back here.
Why can't I be in here?
Because it's the rules, that's why. Customers stay out front, where they can't mess everything up.
I just wanted to see a master chef at work.
Oh, right. Well, I guess you can look around. But don't touch anything. I'm trying to work on a signature dish. I want something fiery and hearty, tough yet tender. Just like the legend of Monkey Island himself. Too bad I'm still missing one of the ingredients.
That's another hint. I wonder which ingredient. So what's on the menu?
Meat stew. When I can find the time to spice the meat, chop the veg, and add this special ingredient like I was told.
And yet you're just standing there, talking to me, and scratching your chest. Is it a special ingredient?
Sure enough. The lady from the Mojo shop stopped by before the governor's guards closed her down, with a box of root beer sprinkles.
Ah. That's the secret ingredient, is root beer sprinkles?
She told me to add them to the grog and anything I cook to provide us all protection against insidious supernatural threats or something. Don't know why, but I hate to see good grub go to waste, and they don't taste half bad, so into the cooking pot with them.
Okay, let's see. I'm looking for work.
Can't help you there. I've just hired a new assistant, and they should be starting today. Assuming they show up for work. I don't know what the delay is all about, but I hope they remember to pick up their uniform from the general store. I've had it reserved all week.
Does it matter what they wear?
Of course it matters. Cooking's a messy business, and you need to look the part. I just hope they get here soon. I'm rushed off my feet as it is. Soon as they arrive, I'm going on my break.
Yo, you just stand there. You're not doing anything. You're already on your break. I heard there's grog in here.
Yeah, in the barrel. But don't think you can just go helping yourself. It's the expensive, extra strong Governor's Special Reserve. I got a batch of it in stock in case the legend of Monkey Island ever stops by for a drink. Think of all the tourists he'd attract. But you need a strong stomach for the stuff, or you'll be out cold before long. Anyway, forget about all that. And don't touch anything.
Okay, so that's all he has to say. Alright, talk to the skulls of scum.
What business do you have with us now? Speak up and be quick about it.
Who are you, Pear, exactly?
I am Murray, the demonic talking skull. All pirates hear my name and tremble.
Murray!
Ha! Pay no attention to that blowhard. He left his marauding days behind, along with his body.
At least I can remember my own name, not like some other skulls I could mention. And one day I shall return to the waves to unleash a new reign of chaos.
Sure you will. But for now, we provide what you might call the in-house entertainment.
What kind of entertainment?
Telling jokes, hurling vile insults at pirate wannabes, and enthralling folks with tales of skullduggery and misdeeds.
I'm just here for the insults. You stink, ugly.
Yeah.
We're still workshopping some of our material.
Yeah, I can see that. Do you enjoy being used as a decoration?
I am no mere decoration. We are the esteemed Skulls of Scum, stars of the most disreputable tavern on Melee Island.
Yeah, the only one, too.
Aye, this be a place so foul, even the roaches have to hold their breath. The floorboards are rotten, the tankards are rusty.
And he's going in.
And half the customers will run you through just for the fun of it. What's not to enjoy?
In all my centuries, I've never found a better place to hang my head. Excuse me. I've got something in my eye hole.
Oh, don't you dare start blubbering. You can be so embarrassing sometimes.
Yeah. I'm not just a pirate wannabe.
Well, maybe that holds true somewhere like the Sea of Thieves. But pirates in these parts hold themselves to a different standard. Time was, you could earn the approval of the pirate leaders here by completing their 3 trials. But that was then, and this is now. The only way they'll respect you is if the governor himself declares you to be a worthy pirate.
Good luck with that. Threepwood's not set foot out of that mansion for almost a year. His guards keep things running smoothly.
A year? Are you sure he's okay?
Of course. What could happen to the legend of Monkey Island? If you ask me, he and his missus are off on some grand adventure.
And if you ask me, Threepwood's gotten himself locked in a closet somewhere. And good riddance.
Just ignore him. If anyone knows how to meet the governor, it'll be that set of salty sea dogs over yonder. If you've yet to do so, you should go and say hello.
Alright. And then this whole town seems obsessed with the governor.
Aye, that they be. They've got their own pirate lord nowadays. And his name is Governor Guybrush.
I told you not to use his name. It gives me a toothache.
Okay, maybe not the whole town.
You'll have to forgive Murray. He and the governor had a falling out a while back. Something to do with a missing arm.
You mean the one that the dog has?
Missing, it was an act of theft and wanton dismemberment. And one day, I shall exact my demonic vengeance.
You want revenge on Guy, the governor?
Of course, these gullible fools may think of him as a legend, but I am not deceived. I have spent years plotting my retribution. However, the customers and I have formed an eternal bond. They will never let me leave, not unless someone can provide a replacement.
Okay. So, I don't believe I can take him yet, so...
Hey, you leave that skull alone. He's insulted you.
Yeah. So I'll go and grab him later.
Hey, you leave that skull alone.
Alright, cool.
He's insulted you.
So that's pretty much everything in here. For now. So let's move on.